extract data from any websites in minutes with our visual scraper. So in practice, you can do things like this in just one click. So here we have Bill Gates' LinkedIn profile, and in one click, I'm going to get information from this page based on the predefined scraper model and add it to a Google Sheet, just like we see over here. So in this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about Bardeen Scraper. We're going to investigate the different types of scraper models that we have. The individual scraper, the list scraper, the table scraper. We're going to look at scraping information from websites in the background, so you don't have to have the page open and loaded right in front of you. We're going to look at deep scraping, which is using multiple scraper models to extract layers of information from websites, such as a list scraper, and then going through every page and collecting more information from those internal pages. And finally, we're going to look at all of the other things around creating playbooks with scrapers, editing scraper models, and anything else you may need to know. So let's take a look. The first thing that I want to do is I want to explore the individual scraper model. So we're going to rebuild the playbook that I just showed you, which extracted information from Bill Gates' profile page and edited it to a Google Sheet. To recreate that playbook, we'll need to define a scraper model, then we'll need to extract information from a page using a get command, and then finally we'll add a do command that will add that information scraped to a Google Sheet. You can also replace Google Sheets with Airtable or Notion. So let's reproduce this with building a scraper model from scratch. So Bardeen works based on commands. It's a natural language interface. The command we're looking for is called do create new scraper model. So you can write do create or create new scraper model right here and click on run this. Now we have a choice between 3 different scraper models. In this case, I want to get the individual scraper, and I can just point and click on information. Let's get Bill Gates' name over here. And I want to get his one-liner. I can get his address. Here's the cool thing. So we can click on his image and choose a different element type. We have the following 5 element types. So in this case, it's an image. So we can select it and call it headshot. But we can also get links from different pages. So if you had a call to action button somewhere on the website, instead of getting the text from that button, we can get the actual URL from that button. So in this case, I don't want to do this. Let's get some more text, like the about from Bill Gates, and let's get his job title, and let's get his company. And that's pretty much it. That's all I want to get. On the right side, we have 2 other parameters that we can grab from the page. We have the URL of the page, so you probably want to get it added to a spreadsheet. So let's edit and let's call it link. And let's also get the page title. So in this case, it's just going to be the name of the person. This is the page title, so I don't want to collect that information. So let's ditch it. And here we give the scraper model a name. So I want to call it LinkedIn demo now. That's the name of the scraper model. You can be more creative, and let's hit on that tick icon, and here we have the scraper model created. Pretty simple. You can again click on any other element on the website, give it a name, and it's going to be defined. So that's step number 1, creating a scraper model. Step number 2 is getting information from the page. So we're going to run the second command, get data, using scraper model, and here I want to type the name of the model. So we have LinkedIn demo now. Let's click on run this, and this command is going to extract the information, and it returned a table. So here we have the table, and the last thing we want to do is we want to add that information to a Google Sheet. So let's do the following. First, we need to have a Google Sheet. I can add it to this existing Google Sheet that I have created, or I can create a new Google Sheet right from there. Let's just add it to this demo sheet so it's a little bit easier. I'm going to delete all of the information to show you that information to the page. So we can actually initiate Bardeen from anywhere on the web. So I'm going to start it from here, and I'm going to say do, that's the action command. So we have append table rows to a sheet, and it's called demo sheet. That's the name of the sheet. Let's select it and use the table, and then reference that table that we just scraped. Important thing, it says last table. So last table is relative to the previous command. So in the previous command, we got the data using the scraper model, and it returned the table. And now we're using that table, which is the last table, to add it to the sheet. Let's execute. And as you can see, the column names were created based on what we have in the return table, and the information got added here. So the last thing that I want to do is want to save this as a playbook. So the playbook is going to have two commands. It's going to get the data using a scraper model that we just created, and it's going to add the data to a Google Sheet. So just two commands. Let's click on new playbook. So first you need to compose the commands, run the commands, and then you create a new playbook. So from here, let's call it demo2 LinkedIn profile scraper. And I here pick the commands I want to include in the playbook. So I'm going to exclude the scraper model creation because we already have that, and I'm going to leave it as is. If you want to add some additional information, such as say give this playbook a color, write a success message, or whatever, you can do it very easily. So show output will allow you to click on the link of the Google Sheet, so it's easier to access. So it's enabled by default. And if you want to input the name of the sheet from the playbook, you can just click on parameterize, and it will ask you for an argument every time you run the playbook. In this case, I just want a one-click playbook. So let's save it as is, and let's click on save. And here we have in the playbooks tab, we have demo 2. So we can go to another profile. Let's go to the suggested profiles. We have Richard Branson, and I'm going to click on option B to open the extension, click on the playbook, and the information is going to get added to the sheet. So here we have Richard Branson's information. Again, one click and the magic happened. Now let's try out the list scraper. We're going to create a LinkedIn search, and then we're going to get a list of people based on the search saved to a Google Sheet. So here I can type, let's do engineer, and we can do some advanced search parameters. So let's do advanced search, my second degree connections in California who work at Amazon. So this is our search. Let's see the results. And here we have 923 different results. So in order for us to create a list scraper, you need to do pretty much exactly the same thing, but we need to pick a different type of scraper model. So we want to, again, write the do command, do create new scraper model, and here pick the list scraper. So in order for us to tell the engine that there are lists, we need to click on two similar elements on the page. So here we have the title or the name of the person, Kevin, and let's click on Max, and this way Bardeen recognized a list that we have in front of us. The second thing we want to do is want to figure out what they want from that list. So in our case, we can grab the name of the person. If we want to, let's get their one-liner as well. We can get the location, and the magical thing here is that we want to also grab the link from an element. So in this case, if I was to click on Kevin, who would be able to go to his profile page. So I want to get his profile link. And it's going to be probably one of the most useful piece of information here. And let's give this scraper a name. It's going to be demo LinkedIn search. It's going to be a list scraper. I'm going to click on confirm, and here we get to define the pagination. So we have different types of pagination. We have infinite scroll. Imagine your Facebook feed, and then we have lists distributed across multiple pages. So this is just the click pagination, the regular pagination. So on LinkedIn, we have click pagination. I'm going to click on click pagination, and I'm going to find the button that would get us to the next page on the website. So in this case, it's literally called next. Let's click on done, and we're going to run that second command that you remember. It's the get data using scraper model, mention the demo LinkedIn search, and then here I can specify the pagination limit. So how many pages do I want to scrape? I want to scrape 2 pages. Let's select 2, and let's click on run this. So Bardeen right now is going to go through 2 pages and is going to get a list from there. Okay, so since we got 2 pages, we have 20 people scraped. So 10 pages or 10 results per page. From here, this is exactly what I was looking for. We have the links, and we can add the command to add this information to a Google Sheet, and let's do it right here. I'm going to edit to the same sheet so that it's easier. Let's do append table rows to sheet. The sheet is called demo sheet. Okay, use the return table like before, and then the information is going to get added over here. Okay, so there we have it. We're going to use it in just a second. And let's save it as a playbook. LinkedIn search scraper. Let's pick the commands. In this case, I want to actually parameterize the limit. So I want to specify how many pages I want to scrape every time. So given pages, and add it to the same sheet. That's no problem. Save. Actually, let's save it to the same sheet. Click on Save Playbook. And here's where the magic happens. I can change the search parameters and add this information again to the same spreadsheet. Let's add filter and do Facebook engineers instead. Let's see results. Let's click option B, go to playbooks and do LinkedIn search scraper, and then specify pagination. Let's do 1. Let's scrape just 10 people. Let's click on run this. It's going to add these people to that spreadsheet. Boom, here we have 10 more people. Now let's explore the deep scraper. We're going to get layers of information from LinkedIn. First, let's recycle our list scraper based on a LinkedIn search, and then we're going to go through every link and get us the information from a profile page. Let's do exactly that. So here we have the search from Facebook that I just did. I'm going to open Bardeen once again. Let's go to the compose mode and let's clear everything. And I'm going to get data using a scraper model. And we had that scraper model, which was the LinkedIn search list. All right. Let's run the scraper. Here's what the scraper is doing. If you do not give it a limit, it's going to go through all of the pages. So this is just enough pages for me. You can click on stop pagination. Okay, so here we have 50 profiles. Now I want to use the links that we've just collected. That's in the profile link column. And I want to grab information using the individual profile scraper. Let's do exactly that. So I'm going to get an array of links. That's a unique command that you need to use for deep scraping. Get array of links using the profile link column. So let's click on run this, and it returned us 50 URLs based on the previous results. And now let's use the individual profile scraper to extract information from that list of URLs. We're going to use the command that's called get data from multiple pages using the scraper model. The scraper model we had was called LinkedIn demo now, and specify the URLs. And here we have the 50 URLs. So let's use all URLs and click on run this. It's going to take a little bit of time to scrape the information, but the beautiful thing is that the scraping is happening in the background. So you can run other commands and you can do whatever you need to do on your computer. If you need to see work in progress, you can just open Bardeen right here and click on this queue. And as you can see, you have the progress report for all of the pages that are being scraped. And it's done. Let's check out the results. Let's open the table, and here we have the information from 50 profiles that was scraped in the background. So what I want to do is I want to finish creating this playbook again by adding it to a Google Sheet. So let's add information to a new sheet. So I'm going to write a new Google Sheet as a command, and let's give it a name, profiles, LinkedIn profiles demo. That's going to be the name of our new spreadsheet that we're creating. And now I want to add information, do append information to that spreadsheet that we created. So let's add a table rows to a spreadsheet. It was called LinkedIn profiles demo. From table, and use that table that we just scraped. And here are the commands that we used. First, we got a list from a LinkedIn search. Then we got an array of links. And after that, we got the background scraper to get information from that array of links. And then finally, we added to a Google Sheet, which we can view right now. So let's see the spreadsheet. And here we have the information. Now let's save it as a playbook once again. I'm going to click on new playbook and let's call it deep scraper from LinkedIn search. And let's add the commands. So we're getting the data, we're getting an array, we're grabbing the data in the background based on the array of links, and we will add information to a spreadsheet. So I don't want to create a new spreadsheet every time. So let's exclude that command and let's just include the do append table rows to a sheet. And I'm going to click on save this playbook. Let's go back to LinkedIn and perform our final search applying this playbook. Let's go to here and click on all filters. And in our case, let's get engineers from Apple, get the results. And I'm going to open Bardeen, run this fourth playbook that we have, deep scraper, and it's going to get information from this page. And it's going to do the magic. The one thing I didn't do in this playbook is I didn't add the pagination limit, so it goes through all of the pages until I hit that stop button. But once I click the stop pagination, it's still going to execute the next commands in our search. And let's see 10 more profiles added to the same spreadsheet. Let's click on view. And here we first scraped 50 profiles and now we added 10 more. That was deep scraper. Finally, I want to show you how to edit scraper models. So if we made a mistake or if we want to get more parameters from a page, we can actually make changes to the scraper models that we've created. Let's go back to Bill Gates's page over here and let's try to scrape more information. I'm going to click option B and write edit, and we have edit scraper model, and use that scraper model that we created. It was called LinkedIn demo new. Let's click on run this, and as you can see, all of the elements that we had collected, they're still here, and we can just grab more information. So let's get his education and let's save it again. So all of your playbooks that use a scraper model, they're going to have the updates automatically. What if you forgot what your scraper model is called? Here's what you can do. You can see all scraper models given a URL. So let's grab LinkedIn, and I can get all scraper models from a URL. And let's click on run this, and it will show me the two scraper models that I have. So here they are. We have the search one and we have the profile one. But data scraping goes far beyond just extracting information from websites. You can use Scraper as a Lego brick on top of your workflow. For example, if you are an HR professional and you want to reach out to people on GitHub, you can do it a lot faster and a lot simpler than copying and pasting information from GitHub to, say, Gmail. So let's try to automate that workflow. So here I have the trending developer profiles, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a scraper model and grab the email of a person on this page. So what we're going to do is let's open Bardeen and let's create a new scraper model. So new scraper model, and let's pick individual scraper model and let's grab the email. Here we have the email, and we're going to call it GitHub emails. GitHub emails. Let's confirm, and now I want to get data like before using a scraper model. Get the information, and here we have the email. Now the results will return in a table format. We want to convert it into a string, and then from there we want to find emails so that we can email that person. For that, we need to write the command get string from table using table reference last table. And now let's run the get email addresses from text using that string. So it's going to take the string of text and it's going to find emails. And finally, we're going to write the do command to actually email that person. I'm going to write do send email to recipient. Let's use the last recipient with subject loved your GitHub. That's the subject. And the body of the email, really cool stuff you are working on. Okay, so that's our workflow. Let's save it. So we just send an email. Let's turn it into a playbook. We're going to call it GitHub emailing, and let's see the commands we have. I want to create a new scraper model, so we're going to extract the data. We're going to format it in the right format. So I'm going to click on Save Playbook, and the playbook has been saved. So from here, let's navigate to another person's account and let's email them. Here we have Guillaume. Let's click on it and run the playbook from here. So I'm going to run the GitHub emailing playbook, and boom, there we have it. Let's click on view, and the information from that page was extracted. We found the email on that page, as you can see, and we emailed them using the template. And this is how you can use the scraper beyond just data extraction in your workflows. It's just a Lego brick and a more complex workflow that you use as a professional. If you're not a Bardeen user yet, go to Bardeen.ai to grab your version of the extension. There are lots of tutorials just like this one. And if you have any questions, we're always happy to help. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.